Hello everyone, I'm Anirudh Vendekar from Karnataka state, from Belagavi district, and I'm pursuing my Bachelor's of Engineering from KLS Gupta Institute of Technology, Belagavi. So in this video, I'm going to start with the fundamentals and networking concepts, where I'll cover what is internet, what is network, about DNS system, how does a browser know where the website is being stored, and many more things. So yeah, I'm super excited to start with this video. So let's get started. Okay. Till then, I'll just share my screen. Okay. Okay, let's get started. So before let us go to our eraser. Okay, so yeah, we are starting with the concepts of fundamentals and networking. Okay, so before jumping into the actual concepts of the fundamentals and networking, let's get into a story. So story tells us that we have a in a room we have two computers, computer one and computer two. Okay, so computer one is working very fine and it has some exciting data, interesting data, impressive data such as images, videos, and text, and many more things. So which is also called, this data is also called as a payload. Just a fancy in a fancy terms, it is been called as a payload. Okay, so yeah, let's continue our story. So this computer has its exciting data, and it talks with the computer 2, saying that, hey computer 2, I have an interesting, impressive data, but I need to share it to you. So this computer wants to share this data, transfer this data to the computer 2. But now the main challenge is how it will share the data. Is there any way to share the data from one device to another device? That's a big problem. So now coming out to the solution, the main solution they found out is basically the device has to connect it with a the device should have a data which it wants to share, and that device has to be connected with the another device to which device one wants to share the data. So that connection can be either wired or wireless. Okay, these two things are main important. So now on top of that, if we add some of the rules which are also called as a protocols in some fancy terms, so this whole ecosystem comes out to an interesting topic called as network. So now, after knowing the story, what exactly problem we faced is basically we want to share the resources from one devices to another device. But there was a difficulty, like how it could be shared, how it can be shared. So now the solution to that problem comes out to us an interesting topic called as network. So what does a network? What does a network says? We'll just Google it and just learn it. Okay. So what is a network? Let us understand. Okay, so if I zoom it and just see the definition of the network. It says that it is a computer network is a system where system of connected devices. Okay, there are multiple devices connected to each other, such as computers, servers, and printers, that communicate. This is the main line, that communicate and share resources between them. So this is the definition of a network. So it's the same thing I just explained over here. So in order to share the data from one computer to another computer, we need some way. So the way is we need a data which is to be transferred and some connection between the devices. So connection between the devices, it could be some wired connection or wireless connection, and some protocols. That is nothing but the rules. So this whole ecosystem, this whole rule set of ways, consider if we include that, that comes out to interesting topic called as network. So network is nothing but the connection of devices so that the data transfer becomes very easy. So this is all the network. Okay. So we completed one topic called as network. So now we are very clear that what is a network. Network is basically interconnection of two or more devices so that it can share the resources such as images, photos, videos, and etc. So this is all the network. Okay. So now after that we will just move with another topic called as internet. So yeah, let's understand what is internet. So now we are very clear with the network. So let's move to the internet. What exactly is the internet? Okay. So in a network, let us come to a small. We'll just move a little upwards. Let us see what is what was the network. Network was like we had a device one, device two, or device three. Okay, let us say this is device one, device one. It was a device one. This is a device two. This is a device two, and just a second. Let us consider this is a device three. Okay, device three. These devices were connected to each other. Just a second. Okay, so now these three devices were connected to each other with either of wired. Okay, just a second. Okay, so these devices are connected to each other. Okay, so that so that the data can be transferred easily. So if a data, see whatever the data is stored in a device, when it can share it with either two or three. Similarly to the device two, whatever the data it is consist of, it can be shared with the device one and device three, and similar with the device three. So this whole thing we concluded, the this process whole process is called as nothing but a network. Okay, network. Okay, but now the one more thing comes into the picture is this was in a same place. Like okay, if I am building this ecosystem, this is ecosystem. It is in consist in the same place. Like okay, if I am building this ecosystem in Belgavi, but the connections will be in a Belgavi only. But now, if we want a global network, like okay, there let us consider they we have something called as something a main server, a middle server, global network. We have a global network, and similarly whatever we have this local networks. Okay, let us say this is all our local network. Like okay, if I'm doing it with the Belgavi, then it's a local network. Okay, so what if it had what if we had something like this? Okay, we had a global network, and we had multiple local networks like this. Okay, just okay. So what if we had multiple these local networks. Okay, 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 let us say we had a global network. Okay, we had a global network, and similarly whatever the device we have created this ecosystem in a local network, we had multiple local networks over the country. But what if there is a network, global network, which connects to all these global local networks? If this global network connects to all these local networks, if it is connecting to all the local networks, such that all the local networks can communicate between the different local networks as well. Like uh, this local network can interact with this local network, and this local network can interact with this local network. This comes out to an interesting topic called as an internet. So what we can tell as what we can define internet as is a globally connected network. So if we try to get into another topic such as internet, let us define a small definition of internet. Okay, it can be it can be just a second. Okay, so it can be defined as it's a globally connected can be said as globally connected network. So yeah, we are very clear that what is an internet and why it is called as a global network, globally connected network. So just to summarize a small thing, we had learned about the network. It was very clear that okay, two or more devices which connects to the which connects in order to share the resources. Okay, so similarly we have a local network in a one place, and similarly we have another local network in another state, and similarly another local network in some another state. So the connection was only this device can interact with the locally connected network devices. But what if this device wants to interact with a device which is present in another city? So here comes out to an interesting topic, that is an internet. So internet states that we have an internet tells us that okay, we have a globally connected network where all the local networks are connected, and in order in any if any device wants to interact with another local network, then global network connects them, and then the transfer of data is been possible. Okay, am I clear? I hope the concept of network and internet is very clear. Okay, let us understand the proper definition of the internet so that we will be revised it very simply. Internet, okay. So let us see what is an internet. It states that a globally computer network providing a variety of information and communication facilities. The same thing I explained, it's a globally computer network where we can share the variety of information and communication facilities consisting of interconnected networks using standardized communication protocols. We'll get later into the protocols, but yeah, internet is very clear. Yes. Okay. So till now we completed the concept of till now we completed the concept of network. So let us just write network and internet is complete, is done. Okay. Okay, network and internet is concept is done. It's very clear. Okay, I hope everyone has understood it. Now let's jump to another topic. Okay. Okay, let's get into another story, like another story. Another story too. Let's understand another story too. Okay, what does the story two tells us that? Let's see. Okay, till now we were just talking about the data transfer. Okay, we were talking about data transfer between the devices. So let come into that the same story. So we have a data. Just let us assume that we have a data. Okay, we have a data, and we want data in what? In a computer, in a device one. This is a whole device one. Okay, device one. Okay, in this device one we have a data, and we need to transfer this data to another device too. Okay, we want to share this data to device 2. So what was the procedure? That is basically connection, some data and some protocols. Okay, so we did it. We just connected with a wire with a device 1 and device 2, and whole network is done so that we can transfer the data. But now there is a concept of like, okay, so data from where? For example, just take example, I'm just a delivery man. I'm getting some item from my address to some another address. So there is need of an address, like from where this data is coming, and where this data is going. So we need some address. Okay, so like for example, we have an address. This device one is the address of this device is something like 12.12 and whatever it is. Okay, and similarly we have another address of this device too. Let us say 13 whatever it is. Okay, now we need the address of both the devices, so that it is very clear that the data is coming from where, which device. Okay, from it tells us that okay, this data is coming from device 1 and the address of the device 1 is this. Okay, is it very clear? So we need an address. So basically, so similarly we have a concept of IP address. We have a concept of IP address. Yeah. So it tells us that where a particular device is hosted or where the particular device is present, so that we can address properly, like okay, this data is came from this IP address. Okay, is that very clear of an concept of IP address? Okay, now come to another story, like okay, just a second.